Would you believe me if I tell you that there is a species of parrot that smells like sweet perfume? It can't fly, is huge, is nocturnal, lives on land, and can live for as long as 90 years? I know you might not believe this and think it's made up, but kakapos are the living example of such a bizarre and rare parrot. As kakapos are only found in New Zealand, many people might not know about their existence. So how did the kakapo, a parrot whose parrot ancestors could fly, become flightless? Why did they become so huge? And why do they smell nice? What is the use of having such bizarre characteristics? The sole reason for the kakapos having developed these characteristics is one of the beauty of divergent evolution. So what is divergent evolution? Divergent evolution is an evolutionary pattern in which a group of species, let's call them the common ancestor, will separate into two groups due to the difference in the ecological geography. Over time, these separated groups start acquiring unique biological characteristics to adapt to their evolving environment. This will ultimately lead to the formation of a new species. And this is similar to how the kakapos came to be what they are today. To understand the evolution of these ancient birds, we have to go back to 200 million years from now, when one big landmass called Pangaea existed on Earth. Over several million years, this landmass slowly broke apart to form the northern and southern supercontinents called Laurasia and Gondwana. Gondwana occupied the regions of present-day continents like South America, Africa, India, Antarctica, Australia, and several smaller land masses like New Zealand. As Gondwana was slowly breaking further, the land masses that included present-day New Zealand separated from the mainland that forms present-day Australia. Along with this separation, a small group of protokakas, which were the common ancestors of kakapos and their cousins, also got separated. The separated group of protokakas that lived in present-day New Zealand underwent various phases of evolution. This evolution occurred over millions of years because of the changes in the environment. This led to the creation of new forest covers on the island. The early protokakas of New Zealand were nothing like their current living descendants, the kakapos. Their ability to fly was intact. Their appearance and size were also very different. But with the change in environment, the glaciers covering the island melted, and new forest covers started to form. The forest attracted many animal species due to its abundant food resources. Among various groups of animals, only 3 mammal species lived on this island that were all bats. Therefore, it could be said that the island was practically free from predators. Living in this type of environment for millions of years, a small group of protococas evolved. This group lost their ability to fly as they gained more body weight, leading the birds to be exclusively land-dwelling, thus causing them to build their nests on ground under the tree roots or rocks. As time passed, some of the features of these birds evolved to resemble mammals. Their eyes faced forward due to their nocturnal nature, and they also acquired these distinct fascia discs which catch the sound and enhance their ability to hear. However, the most striking feature of these birds is their strong body odor, which smells sweet like honey or flowers. They use this odor to locate potential mates in the forest. At present, we are not sure how long these birds live, but the minimum is 60 years, and in theory, it is thought that they can live up to 100 years. For thousands of years, these newly formed birds that resembled nothing like their ancestors flourished throughout the island. This was until they got their name Kakapo from the Maoris that first arrived on this island in the early 1300s. The Maoris brought with them Pacific rats, which were their source of meat. But the rats soon became invasive, meaning their population drastically grew as the food was abundant and there was no natural predator or disease that could kill them. These invasive species started spreading into the forest and predating vulnerable species like the flightless giant named Kakapo. The bird never developed any defense against land predators like rats, as there was no need. This led to their population being wiped out in areas where human settlers lived. However, this was just the start. Next, the European settlers arrived on the island in the 1640s. They brought with them cats, stoats, and other types of rats. These animals, similar to the Pacific rats, became nuisance species that predated the native flightless birds, leading to a dramatic population wipeout. Not only this, but the later settlers also brought new diseases, parasites, and crop plants that compromised the native ecosystem. In no time, vast forest lands were converted into agricultural lands, which caused these native flightless birds to lose their habitats. In the 1990s, only about 51 kakapos were left in the wild. This detrimental decline in their number called for conservation efforts in New Zealand. Today, these magnificent parrots are still fighting their battle against extinction. Once these birds were found across the entire island, but now they are isolated to 3 offshore islands which are predator-free. Codfish Island is one of the islands where much of the conservation work is done on the kakapos. Currently, there are approximately 199 kakapos left in the world. For any animal, this is a dangerously low number, and they are categorized as critically endangered. Such a low number creates an issue of inbreeding within the population. Therefore, conservation techniques such as genetic rescue are used for these birds. Conservationists use this technique to sequence the whole genome of these birds. It helps them better understand how these birds are related to each other. It also helps them determine what are the prominent genetic traits and diseases these birds might be predisposed to. Kakapo recovery is a program set by the Department of Conservation under the New Zealand government to save these birds that are out of time, facing extinction.